So I get to this point in June and I feel like I can relax finally. All the planting has been done. I just need to sit back and harvest as the crops start to come in. But don't rest yet, because it's June and now is the perfect time to start to get the fall garden in so that you have harvest over the fall and the winter. We have a lot of our fall and winter crops already in the ground. They are things that some of them are perennial and some of them are things like tubers that have been growing that we just move around from container or from spot to spot in the garden. Skirret is an old Victorian or even medieval vegetable, and it's a lot like, looks like carrot, but I have yet to taste it myself. So I'm hoping that this year, being its second year, it's going to be nice and plump and juicy and ready for harvest. This is cronies or Chinese artichoke, and these are little white tubers. They're kind of funny because they look like little white maggots, but they're delicious, absolutely delicious. They're good for eating fresh or for cooking. And we have had this one for 2 years now. So we just pull all the tubers up in the fall and bring them inside to eat, or not all, but as many as we can. It's kind of like a Jerusalem artichoke in the sense that it will keep growing because you don't get all of the tubers up. So I keep adding more pots of this all over the place because I like it, and because it's a perennial, that means it's something that can continuously grow all over the yard, and I will always have it available for myself, for the family, to be able to harvest and to have something to eat. This is Jerusalem artichoke. It's our first year trying it. I'm hoping that the containers will keep it contained and hoping to get a good harvest from it. Hoping we like it since it's our first time trying it. Here is our celery root. We have a couple of these planted. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's supposed to be one here, isn't there? Oh, 8. There it is. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 14. We have some in the back planted as well. And celery root or celeriac is a really nice, tasty winter root vegetable. We don't eat a whole lot of it, which is why I don't grow a whole lot of it. Just enough for us to have 1 a week in soups, because that's where we mostly use it, soups. Do roast it sometimes. Heard of some people putting it in mashed potatoes, which I have not done, but it's really, really tasty root vegetable. Once we harvest this mustard seed, we're going to put some beets in that space there. Also, the leeks for the winter are going to go right here in between the 2 rows of the Swiss chard. In this bed that has the beans, the bed there with the beans and the bed with the cowpeas, there will be a mix of beets, carrots, and red Welsh onions that we will put into those beds, turnips also, and those will get planted once we harvest most of the beans. I will cut the beans down, we'll add another layer of compost, rake this all up, and we will go ahead and get our fall and winter beets and turnips and radishes also. All of those things, all those root vegetables we will put into these 3 beds. And that won't happen though until probably late July or into early August. The sea kale is starting to flower. Really pretty flowers.
Go down and see them.
pumpkin plants. Yes, pumpkin plants. We have 2 there, 2 over here. Also, I have down this way some winter squash. I believe it's a butternut type of squash called rugosa. So there are 2 here, 2 right there. Right here we have our scorzonera and salsify, and those are another really nice root vegetable. I have some there. Flax, more scorzonera and salsify, and we will start harvesting those in the wintertime. So I will, for any of our root vegetables that we are not going to harvest until later in the year, I will put some hay over the top so that I can still get in here and harvest. Some of them I will, depending on the type of winter we're having, I will not only do that, but I will also go ahead and put hoops around them, put like low tunnels around them. But we've been pretty good with having just the hay piled up on top of the, or straw, hay or straw, whichever, on top of the plants. We've been pretty good with that, and it's worked out really well for us to be able to get them out of the ground. So that's probably what we will do. Flax is starting to flower. Flax is starting to flower. While it may be too late to plant celeriac and salsify, scorzonera, it's not too late to do a lot of other types of vegetables. It actually might not be too late to plant those either. You should look at your zone and see when the right time is to plant those things. But for here in the north, it's probably a bit late to be planting them. You might still get a decent sized vegetable, but maybe not. I'm not sure. I've never really planted them that late, so give it a try. I've already started the kale and the collards for our fall and winter garden. I still have a few other things that I want to plant for us to harvest this fall through the winter. Arugula, beets are going to go in, turnips are going to go in. I'm going to start some more broccoli and cabbage today. Later in August, I'll start things like kohlrabi. I'm going to transplant leeks. Have all these lovely little teeny tiny leeks. They did not do as good as I would have liked, but I'm still going to transplant them. So we have all these leeks that are going to get transplanted in that front garden. I'm going to start a fall set of mustard greens. I'll start more radishes, more rutabaga in July. Spinach I'll start in August, more Swiss chard. We have a lot of different beets, greens. We have a lot of different vegetables that we like to eat for the fall and the winter, so I'll be starting a lot of those this month and all the way through August.